Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Love Life, where we hope that you're making choices and decisions that love you back. I am Michael. I am a person in long term recovery from substance use disorder and co occurring with mental health. I have some gifts and superpowers of PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, ADD, attention deficit disorder, and I'm healing on purpose from physical and sexual abuse in my life, childhood, teenager, and even as an adult. As an adult, it was a result from my substance use, active addiction. And so today we're talking about reasons for using and continued use. And we This is part two. So last first part, we talked about grieving, ending a relationship, and mental illness, mental wealth challenges or mental health challenges. And so today we're going to talk about reasons that I may use is because of my environment, my surroundings. Maybe I grew up and didn't have much money. The P word, people call it poverty. Yep, that's the professional word for it, or the nice word for it, or the household was toxic, or I was exposed to some type of alcohol or drug addiction by the adults in the house, or they thought it was cute for me to get a little beer in the bottle or in a baby bottle and things of that nature. Just kind of putting some things out there that might jog my memory. We were exposed to what physical abuse and seeing sexual abuse of some nature, maybe not done to us, but we have seen it or been around the essence of it in our personal life. Our environment, our surrounding may be high crime. So there's anxiety, right? Anxiety, maybe grows from paranoia. So the need to make it for my altering activity or my altering substance may come from just the feeling the anxiety. And so usually there are negative factors in our life that we don't have immediate control over that can add and contribute to the urge to use my altering substances and my altering activities. And then, of course, some of it is called learned behavior. We were exposed to the behavior. That doesn't mean we have to choose, but they say, well, if you be around something long enough, you pick up those trends and habits and thinking patterns. Also, just the way what we grew up around, the surroundings, our environment, our neighborhood, it may have looked at as use in untreated mental health, untreated uh, mental conditions may also contribute to that, right? If we're in a, if I didn't grow up on the silver spoon or platinum spoon, whatever you want to call it. I didn't couldn't afford gold, silver, or any of the above. It was more like bronze, barely that. So some things were because the product of my situation and product of my environment. They was, and so, but I also as I became older, more wise, or hopefully gain some wisdom, have a choice whether to participate in those mind altering activities or partaking of those mind altering substances. And so, therefore, we may learn patterns subconsciously because of our exposure and surrounding. And so now, um, maybe it takes me to hit rock bottom. I hit rock bottom several times in my life before I am where I am today. And I have no regrets over that because I have the privilege to be on here, to be alive, and to share that with you. So I'm thankful for my journey and my story being part of why we are talking about what we're talking about today. Also, it might be I want to unwind after a long day or a long week. It's the weekend, just get one, two, three, get loose. So we fight because we may face a lot. What bills? We may have family responsibilities, work responsibilities. No matter what type of work we do, but just trying to maintain and keep a job and keep income in it may cause some stress. And so therefore the need, to relax, relate, release. And so we may pick up mind altering substances to relax, relate, release. We may do mind altering activities that are not healthy for us to relax, relate, and release the stress. And so, unfortunately, some of us choose. and have, and I wouldn't be on here because I was one of those that had that choose detrimental uh, alcohol and drugs and other detrimental uh, mind altering activities that cause more harm to my life. And so we may use and continue to use because it's being used or perceived. I'm telling myself it's a tool for relaxation, but all it is, it's a slow harm that is taking place. Sometimes, I only do this in the evenings, or I only do this on the weekends. I only do this when family comes to town. I only do this on the holiday, and then before you know it, poof, it becomes a regular necessity or a regular habit because the habit turns into I got to have it. And so just be aware of that. What are some positive trends or positive habits we can use for relaxing, some natural ways of relieving stress. And yes, let's be adults, and some people could even overuse what the release of sex. So not using sex in a healthy and proper way can be damaging not only to myself but to others that I do that activity with, because it becomes just a what? It becomes an activity of addiction and not the purpose that it was designed for. And so then the last thing we want to talk about today, a reason why I may use or continue to use, excuse me, is self-medicate. I have emotional pain. I have um, I have not addressed. I have not surrendered myself, or I have not brought myself to realization of that therapy or some type of mental health wellness treatment will benefit me. And so I start experimenting with mind altering substances and mind altering activities to numb the pain of my past, to try to forget temporarily of what's going to still be there when I come out of the days of addiction, the days and the glaze of addiction. And so there, so this means when we self-medicate, they're not prescribed by the doctor. They're just they're prescribed by me, miserable me, not happy me. Just maybe be prescribed by the kid in me that wants foreclosure of childhood, or the teenager in me that wants foreclosure of those years. Instead of going to the professional, I go to mind altering substances and mind altering activities that cause more mental, emotional harm to me. They and it could be even from what, I'm not going to go down naming lists of drugs, but the most common you get your hand on is what? Any kind of painkiller, oxycontin, Percocet. Your main players in this role of I'm going to make myself believe that I got some pain so I can get this kind of high and relieve and self-medicate. And so I'm not talking about us. I'm just talking about how it goes down, right? Um, so, and then there's what? There's certain over the counter, or not over the counter, and prescription drugs from a doctor that have addictive factors in it. You can be very well dependent, and my body can depend on it. And then what? Misuse happens, an abuse of that happens. And so now I'm down the slippery slope of my alter of substance abuse and misuse. And so self-medicating is really not even addressing the issue within me. That's where self-medicating, we may not be bold enough to talk about it, but I'm going to mention it. I'm going to talk about the issue in the room that glares out, that's got neon lights on it, flashlight, neon light is pointing out to us, is that I'm self-medicated. I can't talk about you, but I speak for me. I self-medicated with my altering substances and my altering activities because I wasn't courageous enough at one point in my life. I wasn't brave enough and courageous enough to face the pains and face the past that were still haunting my memory, the things I wouldn't let go, and but I needed to let go, and I do, and I did, and I still do need the help of a professional to guide me through that, to walk me through that, and that's my honest story, and I'm happy to stick with that process because it's doing me so much better, and I hope you want the same for yourself. So, my friends, till next time, make decisions and choices that love you back. So I hope you're encouraged to love life. Until next time.